Miss 80s has launched the Movie Music Soundtrack tag for 2023, this year with some questions compiled by suggestions from other YouTubers, including myself, David's Horror, H&S Collectibles, and Eric Woods of Cinematic Sound Radio, amongst others. Designed to get you thinking and talking about your love for film music. So here we go with my answers. How many soundtracks or scores did you purchase in 2022? I slowed down somewhat last year, adding 146 titles to the collection. Your oldest, year-wise? Goldfinger! The original 1964 pressing. The newest one added to your collection. I was very fortunate to be sent this as a gift at Christmas. The 3-disc limited edition CD set of Die Hard from my good friend Daniel over at Soundtracks with Birdman. The music for this Yuletide classic has a large part in making the film what it is, and this release is rammed to the gunnels with every possible piece of music from the movie. Your preferred format to collect and why? I prefer vinyl over other formats. I find it so much more involved when playing. The ritual of removing the packaging whilst appreciating the art, the delicacy of placing the needle, etc. I'm not anti any format. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. I'm not one of those people who won't buy something if it's not on vinyl, but always have it as my first choice. Your favourite soundtrack label? Newer labels such as Mondo, Waxwork and Terrorvision are doing some great releases. However, for me, the king is still Varese Saraband. They have an extensive back catalogue going back to the early 80s, which is still highly sought after, and also continue to put out some great releases. Your favourite that includes both score music and songs? This has to be the soundtrack album to 1984's Ghostbusters. We have all the popular songs from the movie, plus a selection of Elmer Bernstein's score music. Sony also recently released a full score to this classic movie, which I also own. Triple Dip, a soundtrack you own on 3 different formats. I have several triple dips. The film I'm obsessed with the most, I think, is Elm Street 4. I currently own the soundtrack album on vinyl, CD and cassette, the score album on all formats including 2 separate releases on vinyl, plus a healthy collection of the singles from the movie on both 7 and 12-inch vinyl. Still a few more to find to complete the set entirely, but I'm getting there. A soundtrack or score from a milestone year. I left school in 1994, the year this film was released. Street Fighter. I have here both the excellent Graham Revell score as well as the soundtrack album. A soundtrack or score from your childhood. Transformers the movie. They don't do them like this anymore. This album has some great rock, pop and electronic score music on it by Vince DiCola. Favourite opening title track? I'm going to go back to Ghostbusters with this one. For me, the song is a perfect balance of both serving the film within and hyping the movie outside of it. Ghostbusters! Your favourite end credits track? We Fight for Love by Power Station from 1985's Schwarzenegger classic Commando. Favourite love theme? Bryan Adams, Everything I Do. Again, this track manages to fit the scenes in the film well and also does a great job to hype the movie outside of it. Best soundtrack or score that helps you relax? Kindergarten Cop by Randy Elderman. Best soundtrack or score that gets you motivated? It's got to be the score for Rocky IV. I've both the soundtrack album and the Entrada score to Rocky IV. If this music doesn't get you motivated, then nothing will. Your favourite TV theme? I've several TV soundtracks in my collection. This is not strictly a show theme, but for this one I'm going to go with Crockett's theme from Miami Vice, which I also have on several different releases. An underrated score, one that isn't really talked about too much, that I think is great, is Trevor Jones's score to Cliffhanger. A Desert Island disc. If you had to get rid of them all and just keep one, which would it be? This is an extremely hard question for me, as no 2 titles have the same relevance. They're all special in their own way. In terms of nostalgia and selection of music, I think it would have to be either Ghostbusters again or the soundtrack album to The Living Daylights. Let's go with Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters! A white whale, one that took you forever to acquire. Garbage Pail Kids the movie. Part of my collecting goal is to have a representation of everything I have enjoyed as both a kid and an adult, and this one was very hard to find. But a lucky eBay find in amongst a collection of Garbage Pail Kids items, I managed to talk the seller into selling it to me separately. It wasn't cheap by any stretch, but a lot lower than the going rate, and it's practically mint. One that you're still on the hunt for. There are several rarer titles I'm still on the lookout for. I have a few missing from my Elm Street collection, which I'm just waiting for decent prices on. But outside of that, I'd say Critters and Critters 2, and Peter Jackson's Bad Taste are top of the list. And finally, tag someone else that loves movie music. I'm not going to tag anyone specifically, but will say that everyone watching this, yes you, are welcome and encouraged to do the same if you wish, using the hashtag so that we can all see it and enjoy your answers. Miss 80s, who started the tag, has created a playlist of all the entries, which I will link in the description below. So that's it from me, and I look forward to seeing your responses should you wish to do so. As always, thanks for watching, and see you next time on RetroReels.